I'm thrilled to be here, and I think this theme is absolutely opposite to the challenges we face as a country. We were just talking about at the table there about what's strong and what's not so strong in Ireland. The truth is, I suppose we are on a journey, and it's absolutely clear the economy that we thought we could create in the middle of the last 10 years was not an economy that was sustainable. We were heading towards the property, the debt-driven. Clearly, the long-term future of a small open economy has to be built on its skill base and particularly its ability to think up things that can be sold abroad. That's our vocation. That has to be our role. And I suppose the point that we were making at the table is, do we have the fit yet? How's our education system, squared up to the scale of that challenge and what it is to be an education system for a changing environment? And that environment, as you know better than most, is changing so rapidly. There's no doubt that the revolution in information is transforming every business. It's transforming not just the ICT sector, which many of you are associated with, but virtually every business. If you're not going to be using the tools that are now out there to know more about your customers, to make your processes more relevant, you're going to be left behind. And clearly, and that's reflected in where do people of ICT talent go. Only 60% of them go to what might be described as the ICT sector. 40% are going elsewhere, and I've no doubt that 40% will balloon. So while we talk about the skills gap that is now in existence for the ICT sector, the reality is, of course, that gulf is going to get larger and larger as technology invades every other sector. I think I was struck here, I think it was David Putnam was here on this platform, and I was down there listening, and he made something that struck me. He talked about a surgeon walking into a theatre in it must have been 2011 then, versus a surgeon that walked in 1911. And the surgeon would have been completely lost in 2011 as to what to do with the patient that was on the table, faced with the array of equipment that was around him. But if a school teacher from 1911 walked into a school in 2011, there'd be virtually no change. And the question was, is that, have we used what's available to us in helping to develop skills? The other thing that struck me, I was at a forum indeed about ICT skills about a fortnight ago, and I don't know who it was said it, but he commented that the half-life of an engineering degree is now between 1 and 2.5 years. So whatever you learn today will be completely out of date in 5 years' time. I think that summarises, I suppose, the challenges that we have, and it can't be laid all at the door of our education system. We really have to create a very rich learning environment well beyond the school door if we're to meet this challenge. And I think that does pose a big challenge for sectors. And to be fair, the ICT sector is way in the vanguard of cottoning on to what the challenge is to generate skills for the long term to feed our sectors. Many other parts of the Irish economy, I think they haven't recognised the shared responsibility that exists to create the skill base for the future. And when you look at, indeed we were just talking about Switzerland, but you can equally look at Germany, Austria, they have a much more embedded system where the sectors think systematically about their skill challenges. They have apprenticeship programs. They very consciously develop from an early stage the skill base that will be necessary to drive their sector forward. And many people look with great awe at the success of the so-called Mittelstand in Germany, these companies who have added technology to engineering and now are world-class leaders in niche sectors, and who cultivate their capacity to be world leaders in a very, very systematic way. So I think there is a lot of challenges for much deeper engagement between you in industry and we in government and the many other elements that make up what you might call an ecosystem for skill creation. To say a few things on the positive side, the education system has really squared up to the challenges that exist in ICT, and the formation of a group, an ICT skills group with education and ourselves has wrought great changes. We set a target of doubling the output of graduates in ICT skills by 2018. It now will be reached in 2015. I think when we came to this challenge, if you like, 45% of the ICT skills were being generated locally. The target now for 2018 is that we will have got up to 75%. So I think there is a lot happening. Also, we've reformed our permit system and sought to ensure that sectors who can't get the talent that they need here will have a very easy and user-friendly system for recruiting that from outside the EU should it be necessary. I think there's also good news in some of the things, simple things that were done. The doubling of the points for maths. Those of you who know our system, which is a very competitive examination system, and the points you get determine what college you can go to. They doubled the points that are awarded to honours maths, and there's been a 58% increase in the number of students taking up honours maths as a consequence. A very small change, but it is certainly dramatically is changing the feedstock, if you like, that's there for the potential of the skills that you need.